So this popular magician got kicked out of the most prestigious magic society in the world just for fooling them with a trick. And it took 30 years for them to finally just admit they were wrong. You see, back in the 1990s, the magic circle was not only extremely hard to get into, they also refused to accept any girls. The leaders of the circle simply claimed that women couldn't keep secrets. And since one female magician in particular was really upset about that, she soon had an incredible idea for how to prove them wrong. Since Jenny Winstanley was a really popular and talented magician who was doing shows all around at the time, she knew that she deserved to be in the magic circle and was extremely frustrated with her sexism. But as she just kept thinking about it, she eventually realized that with the right disguise, a girl could technically just sneak in pretending to be a guy. So since Jenny just so happened to have a young actor friend who was already successfully pretending to be her male stage assistant, she soon came up with the perfect plan to infiltrate the magic circle. Even though Sophie Lloyd had zero magic experience, Jenny just began teaching her everything she knew over the next 2 years. Using an elaborate disguise, including a wig and a bodysuit, Sophie gradually adopted a new magician persona called Raymond Lloyd. Despite always having to croak to hide her voice and wear gloves that made tricks much harder, Sophie eventually became a really talented magician herself and started doing her own shows. Her acting and disguise were so good that somehow no one ever suspected a thing. And in 1991, Raymond finally had an incredible performance in front of 200 people and 3 Magic Circle examiners, and just a week later, they told her she was in. Jenny was absolutely thrilled, and Sophie just spent the next few months hanging out and performing magic with the oblivious Circle members without them having the slightest clue that she was a girl. It wasn't until the Magic Circle actually voted to start admitting women later that year that Sophie finally felt comfortable enough to reveal her identity. But although she and Jenny thought the other magicians would applaud them for their trick, the Magic Circle simply expelled Sophie for her quote-unquote deliberate deception. She and Jenny were devastated and really couldn't understand why. Regardless, Sophie went on to have quite a successful magic career, performing all across England. It wasn't until last year, more than 30 years later, that the Magic Circle finally reached out to apologize and re-offer her membership. And although Sophie really wanted to refuse at first, since Jenny, who had since passed away, would have wanted her to accept, she eventually did to honor her friend's legacy.